somebody sign in.
I just dropped it in chat if you
Okay, yeah, thank you.
if you need it.
Yeah. And I will share it for a second so you know how it looks like. And I'll stop sharing because I would rather look at you all than just look at the doc. But you can also look at the doc side by side. We'll wait for a minute, see if more people are joining. So I went ahead and created at least sections in the agenda that we should talk about. And if you feel like there isn't a section that you are interested in, just add it to the end of the agenda and we'll cover it. I think I'll create this one thing, which is, questions. So if you wanted to ask questions, please add them there. Should we get started? So the first item on agenda is new member introductions. I see a new person, Jeff. Welcome, Jeff, to our Pyrsia meeting. Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi, yes, thanks. Happy to be here. I work with a number of the working groups as part of the IBM activity across the OpenSSF. And I've been working in and around open source for, over a decade now. Go back to the early work that I did with Docker way back in 2014.
Okay, cool. Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
I don't know if you know of Mark, but Mark Seaborn has joined us in the last 2 weeks. He was at Mark, you were at this previous community meeting, right?
Yes. Yeah, we know Jeff. I know Jeff.
Oh, great.
Yep.
Great. So thank you for bringing your friend along, Mark. And the rest of us, we have met Subinoy and Abhijit. So I think that would be it for new member introductions. So we do. I'll just update on what what they discussed at the technical advisory committee meeting. So that usually happens on was it Tuesday? I think yes, Tuesday. The Tuesday before the general community meeting for Pyrsia. And we are we are hooked into just listening in and contributing to the conversation. So mostly what has been happening is they're refining the processes because the new TAC basically took charge. And there is a process that they're working through to get Pyrsia incubated, and we have offered to help. So that was basically the summary of what happened in yesterday's meeting. Yeah, we are just encouraging people to come talk to us, listen to what Pyrsia has, and then fill in the gaps of where we need to provide information on what we are doing.
So Hindra, do you know if they're going to if we're going into incubating or into sandbox?
That is still being worked on.
Okay.
Steve Chin offered help to sort of
I just joined.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm late joining as well.
That's okay. Yeah, we were just talking about the TAC meeting yesterday and kind of the update on that. I just updated that they just formed, they took charge, and they're still working through the process of incubation for Pyrsia and projects like us.
Yeah. So I think that the ask was that we wait until the process is formalized, and there's a GitHub issue 83.
Yeah.
To talk about this. Did you get a chance to put in the CD events case study on that, Steve?
No, but I will.
Okay.
I will. It was issue 83.
Yeah, issue 83. And I think this is the time to do it because Bob, who's now the chair of the TAC, is pushing pretty heavily that that they actually get to some sort of conclusion on the project intake process. No, I think for our project, of course, it'd be great to be in incubating status, and hopefully we'll make the criteria for it. But if we're in sandbox status, that's fine as well. I think we just want to be in an official status, which allows us to kind of move forward with things.
Yeah. Yeah, so that is the basic update. Yeah. Any questions on that? Any thoughts?
I will just add that I'll get in there today and add in our the CD events and the CDF documentation I put together for them.
Yeah.
That case study.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on to the next topic, and I just added updates on MVP. So if you have been around, there is also an architecture meeting that we have for Pyrsia, and we'll share more details during that meeting. But there are a couple of decisions that we made about how we pick the blockchain technology and how we pick the networking technology. So in the last couple of weeks, we have been working towards finalizing exactly what we build, what is actually minimum viable, and some of that is now clear. And you should be able to see, if you're following our project, then you should be able to see the issues on GitHub. And I will not talk a lot about that here, but that is just your cue. If you are interested in learning more about the details of what we are building, please join us in our architecture meeting, and we can talk in detail. And there is also a similar doc which we are tracking, the kind of decisions we make and kind of feedback we are gathering. Okay. And the other update is from last meeting, is the outreach and marketing activities. So I just saw that from our designers that they have shared the final designs with a small group that is working on that. So basically, it is coming together, and we hope that by the end of this month we'll have something out there, like the first cut of the website, and so that we can start using that and promoting that. It will still, like, we'll ask people to give feedback once it's out there before we make it more public and make noise about it. Yeah, and it will continue to be markdown based, and we are using something called as Docsaurus for writing markdown, so that we can still contribute content heavily as developers, and then the design is separated from that. So if you are interested in any of the outreach or marketing activities, there is a Pyrsia community channel on the OpenSSF Slack. Please don't hesitate in joining there, and share or tell us what we are doing well or not. And there are opportunities, just to help us out in different areas, not just code. Yeah, Docusaurus something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
If anybody knows the spelling on that one, please.
Yeah, I'll put that. I'll yeah. So yeah, any questions on the marketing side, or outreach, or what we're looking to do? Okay. Then I don't know if you have been around on this project. One of the main goals of this project is to be able to demo something working, and we have been aiming at a JFrog event, which who are kind enough to give us some space there. So we are gearing towards building that demo, and in our discussions on the team stand-ups, etc., there are like one or two stories that need to be finished, but largely the demo is there, and we have a script that we can run. There is a PR out there. So if you're curious, or if you want to use it, you can use the demo version and see some of it functioning. There are some things that are still being built, which you can see from the demo itself, and what you can pull, but it works end to end in its definition of pulling images from Docker, etc. So Baruch, for you, there's PR 442, I think, and I'll Slack you that, or I'll also add it to this doc. So it's the same script that we have been working on, but a lot of gaps have been filled. So it should be a much smoother experience. So anyone else who is interested in just trying it out and give us feedback, yeah, I'll put the PR link here as well. Yeah, and we have like Steve Taylor is writing, we have a couple of slots. We have the ability to do a demo. We have the ability to do involve in a longer conversation. Like we have a slot for a workshop, so we can actually talk about how to use it. We can actually do a performance test, if you will, and have a lot of computers acting as peers. So that's what we are gearing towards at SwampUp, and also opening up the discussion about the technology that we are building, and the challenges that we're facing. So we are inviting people during that event as well to either be part of it or listen in on and give us feedback.
Can we reach out to you, Suzindra, about this SwampUp?
Oh yes, absolutely. So there is also the Pyrsia community channel. Same thing for events, outreach, marketing. Just raise your hand on the Pyrsia community channel, and we all of us are there, and we can guide you through what the beginnings of it that we have, and you can join us and contribute. Yeah. So in general, if you're not able to find things, just ping me on the Pyrsia team channel or individually on the OpenSSF Slack channel, and I will get you the information somehow.
And if you can't find them, just reach out in general to any of the channels, and we're out there all the time.
All the time, yeah.
So we'll be able to get you to the right location and connect it up together. So we're pretty informal on that front.
Yeah. Yeah. CDCon, do you want to talk about it, Steve Taylor?
I just know CDCon's coming up, and I was hoping Lori was going to be on today because she's on the CDCon CFP selection committee, and I can't remember if we have anything for Pyrsia that was submitted, but I know there's going to be a bunch of supply chain stuff. The CDF created a new working group around supply chain, and I would imagine there's going to be some talks around that we should listen in on, and also get a feel for what other folks are doing as part of this process. So even though we may not be presenting, it'll be a good opportunity to learn the way folks are viewing supply chain these days and how we can fit into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did a last minute supply chain security submission, which will also include a demo of Pyrsia if it gets accepted.
Cool.
And Lori's not here because she's actually on a flight now. She's coming out to the West Coast offices, but she should be engaging as usual on the Slack channels and other places.
Yeah. Just to jump back to SwampUp, is that one going to be in person, and is it going to be a hybrid show as well?
Yeah, it'll be hybrid. But we are trying to get like speakers and folks who need to be there in person to be online, and we haven't published the hybrid part of the conference yet, but the tickets for that will go out in a few weeks.
Yeah, I think CDCon last time I heard they're trying to get speakers in person, but they would still have the sessions in a hybrid mode as well. That was last I heard, but things are changing pretty quick.
Yeah, I mean, we're accommodating some speakers for SwampUp who can't be there in person, but it's a much better experience when you're at the conference with the speaker rather than at the conference watching a video of the speaker.
Right. And there's a bunch, and if anybody knows about any other shows that are coming up, please drop a the notes and the details, either in Slack or on the outreach committee meetings. So we can make sure that we get some CFPs in there and start, getting the word out about Pyrsia. Getting the ball rolling is the hard part, but once we get on, folks start hearing about us, then it gets a little bit easier to get accepted. And a lot of the CFPs at the beginning are just a paragraph or two, so they're easy to submit.
One other one, which is probably relevant and timely, because the CFP I think closes this week, possibly today, but maybe it's Friday. I can't remember. But Supply Chain Security Conf is a sub-conference of the Open Source Security Conference, and that's the Open SSF event for the year. So getting in more submissions for Pyrsia on that would be good.
Okay. And that's like is that like a day zero at KubeCon?
It's a day zero at the Linux Foundation Open Source Summit.
Okay.
But I think it's important we have at least one talk on Pyrsia there. Normally we'd automatically get a talk if we were like an official project, but I think we just need to rely on having good submissions this year.
Yeah. 14th is the last day to submit. So
When's they CFP
14th,
close?
yeah.
Got it. All right.
Yeah. So we have a few days still.
Erwin.
Yeah.
You could do a submission about the demo.
A demo.
A demo of the demo. But think about it. The folks that are doing work on Pyrsia, and it could be and weird things that get picked up sometimes are experiences about being in open source. So our experiences about learning Rust and libp2p and how they fit into Pyrsia are good talks that will get picked up as well. Those educational type of things is what I found are a lot of people flock to because they want to learn how things are going out in the development world.
Yeah.
Any other ones? Now like there's a couple others that I've run across that I put on the from the outreach committee. There's like Container World coming up. There's a couple others. We got KubeCon, which would be in the fall. DockerCon as well. So those are a few others that are still a ways out, but we should just think about.
Yeah.
There is a container conference coming on the June 21st, around that week, and I think the CFPs are open.
Okay, cool.
Do you have a link, Abhijit, that you can?
I'll send it in Slack to you after this meeting.
Okay. Yeah, ContainerCon is the same with Open Source Summit. Same thing. It is in the same forum of multiple conferences in the same space. Yeah.
Is it a co-located event or like, I mean,
Yeah, it is a
virtual?
Yeah, in co-locate, it looks like it's in part of the Open Source Summit, North America. I see ContainerCon, and the submissions are accepted through the same date.
Yeah, the CDCon one is a weird one because it's co-located with like JavaScript World or something like that. It's a weird pairing that the Linux Foundation just needed some help from another organization to pay for space, so we're paired with JavaScript World, I think, or something like that.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Any questions? Anything that you thought we should have covered but did not? Okay.
So just a heads up. So next week, so this week is the week of the general community meeting, and next week will be the architecture meeting and the outreach committee meeting. We try to keep all these kind of update type of meetings to about a half hour. So if you can join, please do. You can find the details on the OpenSSF calendar for when those meetings are, and the Zoom links and the document links and stuff like that. For the new folks, if you haven't already, please go ahead and join the Pyrsia open source Google groups, which is at the top of the page. And that will give you access to all the, once you submit there, we just approve you pretty much automatically. And then you're able to get access to all the documents. And we just use that for permissions.
Good call out. Yeah.
Alrighty, everybody.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks everybody.
guys.
We'll
Yeah,
see
yeah,
ya.
bye.
Thank
Talk
you.
soon.
Bye.
Bye.